This video is going to show you how to make cinnamon pull-apart bread. In our mixer we have 4 1/4 cups of bread flour, and we have our hook on our mixer. To that we're going to add 1 1/4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. This is 1 tablespoon of melted butter. All I did was put a stick of butter in the microwave for 30 seconds. Took a tablespoon out. I'm going to put it in the dough itself, and then the rest of the margarine we're going to put in our dip. We're going to dip the bread in before we put it in our pan. Then we have 2 cups of water, warm water right out of the faucet, and 1 envelope of dry yeast. We'll put everything in there, and we're going to turn the mixer on, mix our dough up. This will just take a couple minutes till we have a nice dough ball. Mix it on slow first, and then you can turn it up just a little. You don't want your flour to go all over the place. See how it starts coming away from the sides? That's what you want it to do. And once all the flour is off the sides, then you're ready to take it out of the pan. Just took it off the mixer. See how all your flour is off the sides? That's the way you want it. You want a nice dough ball, but you don't want it too sticky. You want a nice dough ball like that, not too sticky. Okay, in this bowl we have 2 cups of brown sugar, and we're going to put 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in that, and the rest of our margarine that we melted. That was 1 stick of margarine, which is a 1/2 cup. Again, we took 1 tablespoon out and put it actually in our dough. Now we're going to put the rest of the butter with the sugar. Melt that around. Then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in that. One, 2, a little over 2, but that's fine. I like a lot of cinnamon in my cinnamon pull-apart bread. So once you get that in there, we just mix it all up. I already have a bundt pan here sprayed with. Okay, in this bowl we have our 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, our margarine, and our 2 cups of brown sugar. To that we're going to put just little balls of dough. We're just going to roll our dough in it, and then put it in our pre-greased bundt pan. Put it in there. Put it in the pan. I'm just going to go all the way around, putting balls of dough in, putting them in the pan. And this is our cinnamon pull-apart bread. You just dip it in. Our cinnamon sugar margarine mixture. And then put it in our bundt pan. And just keep going around your pan. Till you use all your dough. Then if you have any left, just dump it on top. Then just kind of squanch out your dough like that, so it's all one level. Then we're going to let it raise for an hour and a half before we bake it. We're going to bake it on 365 for 35 minutes, or until it's nice and golden brown. Now, when we're letting it raise, what I do is put a piece of wax paper on it, and then a clean towel, dish towel, and just leave it for an hour and a half, just like that, and that way the dough doesn't dry out because you have the wax paper on it. We're going to leave it there for an hour and a half till it raises twice its size. This is our pull apart cinnamon bread baking in the oven. It's been in there about 10 minutes. I'm going to give it another 15 and check it. Our bread is done. It's been in the oven for 30 minutes, and we are going to give it just a couple minutes to sit there, and then we're going to flip it. You have to be very, very careful when you do this that you don't burn yourself, because that juice is scalding. Now I'm going to show you how you flip it into a pan. First, I put my parchment paper down, put my cookie sheet down that is bigger than my pot. Then flip it over. See, my bundt pan has an edge on it, so I always get a hold of that. Then we're going to keep it there a couple seconds. Mind you that this pan is scalding hot because it just came out of the oven. So I use a knife, lift it up, let the steam come out. Then we're going to put it in the sink, put some water in it to soak. And what's good about this is because I used brown sugar instead of white sugar, it makes a maple type glaze on it, so you don't even need icing on this. It has a maple sugary glaze, and it's done. You can serve it warm or at room temperature, however you want to do it. You can pull it apart, serve it that way, or you can cut it after it cools. Cut it just like you do bread, you know, a loaf of bread. And that is how I make pull apart cinnamon bread. Some people call it monkey bread. Either way, I hope you like the recipe and subscribe to my channel for new recipes. And have a good day.